Welcome, also from my side. My name is Patrick Dase, and I'm happy to lead you today to our webcast, Data Security and Data Privacy, Data Anonymization. So in today's webcast, we would like to show you an overview about the question why we have to anonymize our systems and system landscapes, including the data with personal relation. And coming in our second part of this webcast to the challenges when it comes to anonymization and pseudonymization in your system landscape. And finally, we would like to show you our certified GDPR compliant solution in terms of anonymizing system landscapes and SAP system landscapes and non-SAP systems. So first of all, I would like to say two words really short about Natuvion. So Natuvion is an SAP Gold partner located in Germany and Vienna and in the US. And we are specializing in data security, cybersecurity, and data privacy. And together with SAP, we are working in several SAP co-innovation programs and developing services and solutions in the field of cybersecurity and data privacy and protection. So within the last 3 years, we developed a couple of accelerators and products in this field. One of these accelerators we would like to show you today with the anonymization engine, TDA. So if you have questions about the other accelerators or about any field of action we're showing today, so feel free to contact us at any time. So this webcast today is a part of our webcast series, which consists of 8 webcasts. 2 new coming or are under construction at the moment, so it will be 10 in the close future. And so we have the GDPR onboarding, which we're running with our partner SKW Schwarz, with a really famous, good, well-known legal company about the GDPR requirements and the legal principles. The second webcast is about the leading mass data and historical data in a system landscape, which leading us to the third webcast with simple blocking and deletion, which is nothing else than implementing an information lifecycle management. So anonymization we have it today, and data reporting and transparency is about their individual right with Article 15, so data access and portability, with our live demo of SAP IRF, Information Retrieval Framework. We have the consent and approval, the privacy impact assessment with webcast 6 and 7, and we have a live demo and our overview of access control of sensitive data, and a live demo with sub-read access logging. So all of these webcasts, excepting one, have live demos included and a solution part. So it's rather more a hands-on webcast series, and yeah, we are happy to see you in the other webcasts as well. Coming back to anonymization and pseudonymization, which we're hearing today. So I would like to start to give you not an overview and not the requirements of the GDPR, but I would like to start with the key facts of the GDPR. And as you can see here, so we have really big fins, like 4% of the global turnover, or 20 million euros. So we have 7 core individual rights under GDPR. An estimation from the IAPP, or Natuvion is a member, of 28,000 new data protection officers expected. And so the GDPR is applicable in 190 plus countries and so on and so forth. So without going too much into detail in the key facts and to telling you what is behind there, so I really would like to focus today on the 7 core individual rights. And therefore, I just prepared a little slide with 6 of the 7 rights, which you see here. It's the right of access, Article 15, connected to the portability, Article 20. So we have a webcast for this. I mentioned it before. So we have the restrictions, we have the correction, we have the objection, we have the deletion, and the right, which is the right to be forgotten, which is much more. It's just deleting data in one system, but rather more be responsible for deleting data in all systems, even the one the recipients you send the data to. So based on this, so and when you're thinking about your system landscape and your connected system landscape, it's really complicated to covering all of these rights once we translating it in a technical perspective. So to be able to implement the GDPR in the given amount of time, so you really have to concentrate on your productive system landscape, on your prioritized system landscape. So this is why we have the green lane topic here, another 6 rights of individuals, which is anonymization. And this means so as soon as you're cutting the relation or the connection between data and a natural person, so the GDPR is not applicable anymore. This means when we're looking to an SAP system landscape with all those secondary systems and all those often copied data in the systems like test systems, training systems, quality systems, project systems, and so on. So all the systems, including data with personal relation. And when you go into anonymize this data, so the GDPR is not applicable anymore, and you can concentrate on your productive system landscape. This is a really efficiency driver and reduces cost in your data privacy and protection program or GDPR implementation project. So generally, any request based on this right of individuals has to be answered within 1 month, and generally it has to be free of charge. So this is the baseline. And coming to an overview based on this, of course, based on this right of individuals. So the GDPR has 99 articles. The most of them have direct influence of our IT system landscape. And so without going too much into detail about any of these products here and any of these services here, so we based on our experience, we have created an overview about solution and services coming from SAP, coming from Natuvion, about services you can use in your GDPR program. So, and as you can see here, you have some clusters. And these clusters are the main clusters within our GDPR implementation project. So we have historical data, which is rather more a system cleaning and a system preparation for implementing the requirements of the GDPR. So you have the information lifecycle management, which is extensive database of process execution. So you have real data or data with personal relation in non-productive systems without purpose, and you have customer request for information and portability, and you have control and you have the consent topic. So all of those clusters have requirements in your system landscape, technical requirements, and you have to translate it from a legal part to a technical part. And the good information here is, so there are a lot of services and products available. If you have questions, what could be used and what fits to your individual situation, so please ask us, and we can assist you and help you answering these questions. So today we're talking about the TDA. Later in this webcast, the anonymization. There are some other tools available, even some other approaches without modifying data in your system. So, but this can be discussed in another webcast or in a direct discussion. So anonymization and pseudonymization with TDA. So I would like to go and start with the principles of Article 5, which means, or which says that any information you storing, creating, processing has to be an explicit and concrete purpose. And as soon as you have this, this purpose is not there anymore. So, like you see on the right side here, but all the system like test and project and training and sandbox development. So, so it's not allowed to use this data for another purpose, and therefore you have to anonymize it. Have to use synthetic data, or even it's not allowed. So that's the fact, right? So that's given by law, and this is to give you an overview about your system landscape in a really abstract and high-level way. It's in real, it's much more complicated. And if you say, okay, is there any ranking of risk between all the system? Yes, of course, you can. You can do it like this, so that's just an example. You can say we have the project and test systems, which generally have often technical data access and comprehensive access to any kind of transaction and data in the system, even with internal as well as external employees. And this is a big risk. So that's the biggest risk you have in this this kind of systems. So the second one should be the training, or could be the training system. So usually internal employees are trained. So that's good so far. But you have also quite comprehensive access to the data, and the quality system is a third risk level you have here. So, and usually you have employees on this system which have also access to the productive system, and you have a really well implemented authority concept in your quality systems usually, and therefore it could be in this big risk matrix the lowest risk within a big risk, right? But this is just an example. And when we coming to what could be, what are the main challenges? Because it's not only about anonymizing the name and the first name as well as the date of birth. So it's rather more, you have to be able to work in a connected, integrated system landscape. So where a lot of data are sent from system to system. And this, so the software you're going to, or the concept you're going to install when you're thinking about, or when we're talking about anonymization, has to be include that the data are synchronously as well as asynchronously anonymized in the same way. That the processes and tests can be done between systems or over the systems boundaries or beyond system boundaries. So completeness is a quite important point, which means all the add-ons, all the customer developments has to be taken into account. So everything has to be anonymized, that you are compliant with your anonymization. The integration with SAP ERP is an important point, or the SAP business warehouse, because once you implementing an information lifecycle process with blocking and deleting, so you can use, or there is a possibility to use your anonymization product to even be compliant on your business warehouse. So once the data are blocked, so you can anonymize or pseudonymize the data on the BW. Speed is a really important factor because you won't like to wait hours or days for the system handover once the system is copied. So the anonymization should be run directly in your compliance project or organization, and it should be take only hours to anonymize a system and hand it over. Sustainability and complexity is a quite important topic, because you would like to have your internal key users running the software, and even little extensions or modifications or changes should be done internally without contracting with any little change on external service provider. And one of the most important points here is that also non-SAP systems should be taken into account, because to any SAP system landscape in the real life are non-SAP systems connected, and the solution you're going to implement should be able to anonymize non-SAP systems or databases as well, and should be even have their functionality and possibility to provide the anonymized data for non-SAP solutions if there's no interface available. So these are the most important challenges you have to take into account. And just to give you an example how it could look like when it comes to an anonymization. So it's not only about names and dates and email addresses. So furthermore, a lot of more fields and tables which you have to anonymize in an ERP industry system. And what you see here is you have an ERP industry systems, a CRM, a connected CRM system, as well as connected BW systems to both of the systems are shown here, and the fields which has to be anonymized and which are included in their anonymization or concept and setup is coming out of the integrated analysis of TDA. So it's called Sophia, and it's a fully automatically analysis which gives you all the personal related information which are available in a system and which should be included in our anonymization concept. So this is just an example about master data and transactional data and customer specific development. And of course, there are a lot of, it's not only domains, so you have also to look for other fields and other customer-owned developments which are not, structured and clearly defined by the domain concept of SAP. So it is a little bit more tricky to figuring out all the data which has to be anonymized in the system. It's a lot. So this to give you an example, and we are almost ready to start a live demo to anonymize our business partner in our ERP system. So which is really easy, and it has to be easy because it should be done by your internal people and key user, and therefore I would like to really show you how usable and user-friendly this is. But first, starting with some key facts about the TDA, their Test Data Anonymization product, which is a certified, GDPR certified software, which guarantees their GDPR compliance, compliant pseudonymization of your data. Of course, there has to be the correct implementation and the correct complete setup, but this tool is able to run our GDPR compliant pseudonymization in your SAP system landscape, and as well in non-SAP systems, selectively or completely, and synchronously or asynchronously, which means you can run connected systems at the same time, out centralized, out from one single point of start, or you can even start one day the one system, the CRM system, and another day the ERP system, and the data will be synchronously anonymized by using our hash algorithm. So we have the direct integration with ILM, so you can use it on BW systems, so it's ready to anonymize BW, complete BW systems, or trigger-based by blocking or deleting from ILM, so you can start the object-wise anonymization on the BW. So you can run it, use it on extremely large databases because it's a high-performance software and designed for extremely large databases, and we have, as I mentioned before, legal and auditor certification for this, and we have an integrated automatic detection of personal data. I think this detection of personal data is really useful even for other fields of action in your GDPR program when it comes to ILM. Or to right to access and portability, but of course, so you can use it for these fields of action as well. So TDA comes with a couple of templates and data models, so it makes it easier to implement TDA in a really short period of time. So we have a lot of industry-specific templates available, so which is a SAP standard templates, and we have to only to analyze your add-ons and your customer developments, and of course all the systems around the business suite of SAP as well as SAP BW. So we have key user documentation as well as training videos in different languages, and we have over 100 successful productive installations. And I think this is this is already evidence or proven very stable and successful software. So coming to the to a really short system demo. So I have to leave the presentation here. Wait a moment, and hopefully my connection is already there. Oh, very good. To show you how easy it is to anonymize a system. So as I mentioned before, this is the software is built for large systems and complete anonymizations of systems. What we're doing right now is we using our high-performance software to anonymize a single business partner. So therefore, it seems a little bit that it takes a little bit long, but all the tasks and all the software is laid out to run in high parallelization, and therefore it takes 1 minute or 1 minute 30 to anonymize this this business partner. But this is why all the tasks has to be prepared for big run, and it's just only a single anonymization. So first of all, we have to find our business partner. So I will do this. I will do this by picking one partner out of the business partner table. And as you can see, a lot of business partners already included with our anonymized because it's a development system. So I will just take here a partner which is not anonymized. It's just an indicator that this partner is anonymized. So we really pseudonymize the partner with real values. So it's not data scrambling. It's really pseudonymization, and that makes it easier to use your processes and your test scripts afterwards. So coming back with a new screen. And we have the anonymization. This is our business partner. I will open a new business partner that you have a look to this, of course, as well. Give me this one. We have Samuel. Samuel is our business partner living in Germany, in Altenhof. And we have a look to the address. It's their identification. Do we have some bank IDs here? So looks good. Samuel is available. Samuel is an active business partner, and we're going to activate a real run. And what you see here is a one-click anonymization. So this is really all what you see. So there's of course there's an administrator screen. I will show you in a minute. There is also a little bit more sophisticated screen to filling and changing the hash algorithm, something like this, right? Some technical stuff. But this is when you getting in system with real data, so you can run it and integrate it completely automatically, and this will run and anonymize your system once you're leaving the part here clear or empty. And or you say, okay, I just would like to anonymize a part of my system. So then you can create a selection here. So, and you will have all the fields available, like our business partner, vendors, employees, and so on. Once you just activate this in your system. So when I click on go, so you see that a lot of tasks will be generated right away. So these are all performance tasks and creating indices, deleting indices, filling hash tables and rules generating, and so on. So a lot of technical stuff going around in the background. But this is all what the key user sees, and he gets of course, he gets an overview at the end. So as we started online, so it will take some seconds as it's ready. What I show you in the meantime is what happened in the background when you're looking on as an administrator on this, and I will show you a transaction where all the magic is done and all the customizing or this anonymization is done. So what you see here, so it's open, it's a little bit, this is really a sophisticated screen. So because we have a lot of projects included here and a lot of functionality in this, but what you see is here is every run of our anonymization creates our own project. So this is for an auditor extremely important. So you can really see when it is when you have run our anonymization. So what has been anonymized? What was their selection? Who has it done? And so on and so forth. So everything customizing happens here. So this is based on a template, and all the templates you have in your system landscape are here, right? So you have an HR template, and you have an ERP template, and you have different templates. You have an ISU CRM combination template. So this template, it started the anonymization and creates a new project, and say, okay, we have a typification or identification of all the data I would like to anonymize, and then I have some performance stuff here, and then I have the tables and the fields which has to be anonymized, which are here, right? So this is the anonymization or the installation of the TDA, so it can be enhanced easily. There's a user interface available, as you can see. And so on. So this is what happens in the system once you're anonymizing, starting our pseudonymization. It's already done, but before we have a look to your partner, so I would like to show you what happens in the system, and you can really see every wait a moment, have a look to this. Every single step and every data record which has been touched, which has been modified, which has been deleted, are really logged in here. So this is a table and technical logging, and this is a really detailed logging. So you can even start a debug modus to say, okay, what's selected, what has been modified, there are any warnings or errors, so you can put out the information and see, okay, the table with hash entries are created, and then the business partner has an update and so on. This is important for the auditor, so he can really have a detailed view into the system and say this is a complete and compliant anonymization, and it's logged, and I can monitor the compliance process I implemented in my organization is completed and was executed like it has been defined, right? So this is the anonymization, and when we're coming back to our business partner, so let's have a new transaction open with the same business partner. Now it's Mr. Bolin. Mr. Bolin lives right now still in Germany, in Schwarm, and has a new bank ID. Like, we can just compare it. Give me the all one, right? And this is how it works. So, and this anonymization is like it's so easily to execute and to implement, and that's all. So you can completely anonymize the complete system, or you can just make a part of it, and this is all about TDA. So in a really easy and short overview. Coming back to our presentation here, and quite important here. So once we, as I mentioned before, the screen I showed you with a start like here. Let me go to presentation mode. Like here, there's a checkbox which with the name starting the anonymization on all connected systems. So after this checkbox, or connected to this checkbox, there's on the basis of the template you have chosen, which means, okay, we have an ERP system, and BW system, and another ERP system, and maybe a treasury system. So all the systems are connected, and you can say, okay, please run this anonymization on all systems from a single point. And this is the meaning of this. So you can really start a complete anonymization of a system landscape synchronously outgoing from one central instance. All right. So as I mentioned, so we have the connected systems. So it's quite important. Even the BW systems are included. So I think this is a unique selling point of the TDA. We have the customer-specific development included, even with the identification of personal-related information in this customer developments and add-ons. We have a really high performance based on native algorithms, and we have the sustainability that you are able in your own organization to extend and maintain the TDA without external help. So I think these are really success factors when it comes to an anonymization software and concept. And I would like to almost close this session here today with a little overview what it means from an effort perspective to implement an anonymization concept and software, and that's really easy. So all I would like to say is, so we have 4 cycles, which is the concept, the blueprint, which is the most important one, because we have to make sure Then we have all the people in the loop, so we need the ones who really use this afterwards from the technical perspective, as well as from the test and business perspective, and we need their individualization requirements really clear defined, which means, if I make an example, in an insurance industry, so we need the ranges between the dates of birth and the genders and so on. There are special rules which has to be created for the process and for the test purpose. So then we really soon install our test, the test or software on a test environment. So we test it. We make an ad hoc anonymization. So we test the processes, and then we start coming to the individualization. Maybe you would like to have some own profiles or some own roles or some own authorizations. So this, everything is possible here, and then we really soon roll it out to your system landscape or to different countries and to different environments, and all this is possibly done within 6 weeks. So 6 between 10 weeks, but it's really possible to do it in 6 weeks. So it's not a big deal. It's really easy. It's fast, and it's the chance, the biggest chance, and the biggest risk, or the biggest possibility to reduce risk within your GDPR/data privacy and protection program. This is everything I would like to say today about the pseudonymization and anonymization, about our TDA and about the requirement outgoing from the GDPR. And if you have any questions, I would be happy to answering this right away, or even afterwards via email or a telephone, or whatever you would like to contact us. So the slides and the webcast is recorded. The slides will be provided after this webcast. The recording will be available on our YouTube channel. And yeah, we would be happy to answer questions or to hearing from you. Thank you very much. And yeah, we are here for the next couple of minutes.